So thanks for joining me today, everybody. My name is Stephanie Williams. I'm one of the co-founders of Positive Pieces Education. We're the Australian and New Zealand publishers of the Second Step program. Before we begin, of course, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land throughout Australia and their continuing connection to land, culture and community. I would like to pay my respects to the Yagara people, the country that I reside, and to their elders past, present and emerging. So today we'll be going through quite a lot in a short time, so please bear with me. First of all, we'll be looking at what social emotional is and why it's important to teach, so looking at the research and background there. Then we'll have a look where it fits within the Australian curriculum, and then of course we'll delve into the Second Step program and go through the main components of that program and the research linked to that. And finally, we'll have a chance to look at some of the online resources to help you see what's available when you when you purchase the program to use within your school or organisation. So a little bit about Positive Pieces Education. So we have approximately 600 schools across Australia and New Zealand using Second Step since we brought it to Australia in 2014 as a trial and started publishing it here in 2015. Second Step is a listed program with BU, which was formerly Kids Matter. The Got It program, which is a New South Wales Health Initiative that stands for Getting on Track in Time. The Student Wellbeing Hub through the federal government, Kids Telethon Institute over in WA, and the Australian Government Department of Social Services through their Communities for Children funding, among other not-for-profit organisations who support our program in schools and other organisations. So why teach SEL? I think it's first important to have a look at CASEL, the Collaborative for Academic, Social and Emotional Learning. They're a not-for-profit and they're a collaborative of academics from around the world whose mission is to advance the science of SEL, expand effective practices and improve policies. They were founded in Yale University in 1994 and since then have expanded to a global non-profit collaborative. I was lucky enough to attend their first conference last year in Chicago when we were still allowed to travel. This year they still went ahead with it, of course, online. So you might be familiar with the CASEL framework. I'll just briefly talk to this framework, or the CASEL wheel as you might know it. This is the widely used social and emotional learning framework, and it's what the Second Step program is based on. So in the middle there, you've got 5 core competencies: self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness that make up social and emotional learning. Now, these 5 core competencies need to happen within those 4 areas, which are the concentric circles you see around the outside of that pie in the middle there. So the first one is classrooms. Now, this means that SEL instruction obviously needs to happen in the classroom to affect positive classroom climate, but also within schools. So looking at a school-wide culture, practices and policies, within families and caregivers as well. So creating authentic partnerships with families and caregivers. And finally, communities. So ensuring that there are aligned learning opportunities within larger community organisations. Now, we know that that learning is not only cognitive, it is also social and emotional. And social and emotional development is multifaceted, and it's an integral part to academics, to how school happens, and to how learning takes place. And classroom instruction and academic activities that connect rigorous cognitive challenges with social interaction, or that spark students' emotions, result in deeper and longer term learning. And what I'll do, just to make sure that we are all on the same page, is briefly outline each of those 5 core competencies. So the first one is self-awareness, which is the ability to accurately recognise one's own emotions, thoughts, values, and how they influence behaviour. So it's also around that idea of having a growth mindset. It's encompassing in being able to identify emotions, having accurate self-perception, recognising strengths, and having self-efficacy. Self-management is the next one, which is the ability to successfully regulate one's own emotions, thoughts, behaviours in different situations to effectively manage stress and control impulses. And again, there it's all around self-discipline, self-motivation, goal setting, and organisational skills fit under the competency of self-management. The next competency we look at is social awareness, the ability to take the perspective of and empathise with others, including those from diverse backgrounds and cultures. Within social awareness, we have perspective taking, empathy, appreciating diversity, and respect for others. And relationship skills, the ability to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with diverse individuals and groups. Within relationship skills, we see the skill sets of social engagement, relationship building, teamwork, and effective communication. And finally, responsible decision making. So this is the ability to make constructive choices about personal behaviour and social interactions based on ethical standards and social norms. The skill sets there include identifying problems, analysing situations, being able to effectively solve problems, reflect, and having ethical responsibility. So looking at some of the statistics that surround social and emotional learning, we can see that research links SEL to higher student success through gains in social and emotional skills, as you would hope and expect, of 23%, 9% gains in attitudes about self, others, and the school environment, 9% gain in pro-social behaviour, an 11% gain on academic performance when looking at standardised test scores, and also reduced risks of failure as well. So you've got that 9% difference in problem behaviours and a 10% difference in emotional distress. Now, these statistics came out of a meta-analysis conducted in 2011, and this slide here goes into that a little bit more. So the meta-analysis was conducted across 213 schools using a universal social and emotional learning program, which includes the Second Step program. It involved over 270,000 kindergarten to high school students, and compared to controls, SEL participants demonstrated significantly improved social and emotional skills, attitudes, behaviour, and academic performance. Again, that reflected that 11 percentile point gain in achievement. Looking at economic outcomes too is important, especially if you are a decision maker of budgets. You can see here that studies show, this particular study conducted in 2015 shows an 11-to-1 return on investment. Again, getting to the SEL where it fits within the Australian curriculum. This here is the general capabilities of the Australian curriculum, which I'm sure most, if not all of you, are familiar with. You've got those 7 areas there that students need to be successful learners, confident and creative individuals, active and informed citizens. So in terms of looking at those areas, you can see that social and emotional learning helps to inform intercultural understanding and ethical understanding, as well as critical and creative thinking, but specifically it fits perfectly within the personal and social capabilities of the Australian curriculum. So looking into the personal and social capabilities area of the curriculum, you see those 4 domains that are an exact match for the 4 out of 5 domains or competencies listed within the CASTLE framework: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social management. And the responsible decision making there fits in within those domains, specifically under social management. It's listed make decisions and negotiate and resolve conflict. So you can see that there is a direct alignment with the CASTLE framework for social and emotional learning and the Australian curriculum. So what is Second Step SEL? It is a universal classroom-based program designed to decrease problem behaviours, increase student school success, promote social emotional competency, but also teach self-regulation skills, especially for the younger foundational year levels. It's an evidence-based curriculum and it's a Tier 1 classroom-based program, so it's a universal program. It's available from early learning right through to grade 8. And this framework here is a look at the CASEL framework, so those 5 core competencies and where the second step units or aspects of the program fit within those 5 core competencies. So just quickly looking at self-management as an example, you have Brain Builder games, which we'll talk about later, Skills for Learning unit, which teaches self-regulation and executive functioning skills, and emotion management. And I won't go into the rest of them, but you can see there that each unit or taught in second step covers off and explicitly teaches those 5 core areas of social and emotional learning. So it's important to have social and emotional learning in your school because it does help to set clear pro-social norms of behaviour, and you see an improved positive school climate, improved peer relationships and school connectedness. You also see fewer incidences of bullying and problem behaviours. And this is just a look at the second step curriculum from early learning through to years 6 to 8, so the middle school program. For Australia, our primary school program includes kindergarten or foundation year through to year 6. And that's what we'll be focusing on today, those 4 key areas: skills for learning, empathy, emotion management and problem solving. So as I said before, the second step program does not only teach social and emotional skills, it also teaches self-regulation skills, which is the ability to follow directions, persist at tasks and control impulses. And it's important to develop these skills at an early age because it can significantly affect long-term success in school and into early adulthood as well. So looking at the first unit that's taught in second step, it's called Skills for Learning. And the poster that you see on the side of the screen there is the classroom poster that's included within the kit to help learn these skills. So you teach, this is specifically for kindergarten, early learning kindergarten year 1 up to year 3, and it is dotted throughout the program. It teaches listening, focusing attention, following directions, using positive self-talk and how to be assertive as well. And the reason why this is included in the program is because Skills for Learning promotes the development of self-regulation skills, as I said before, and improved participation in learning, which is our goal. Students must be able to integrate and apply these skills in order to be successful and diverse learners. And Skills for Learning play a role in the development of social and emotional competencies. And as I said, they're woven into the program's other units as well. These are the Skills for Learning cards that are included for kindergarten and year 1, just to assist with learning those different areas of how to be a good learner. So eyes watching, ears listening, body still and voice quiet. And these are all based on neuroscience. You'll notice also their real faces. Again, neurologically speaking, we tend to recognise real faces more than, say, a cartoon. So it's important, especially for the foundational years, that they see real faces doing these actions so they can understand and recognise it. And here's just a gorgeous prep classroom from Rye Primary School in Victoria in our trial year back in 2014. They had just started the program. They had I think gotten through maybe half of their Skills for Learning unit, and the principal came into the classroom and asked to see their Skills for Learning, and they were able to do these actions unprompted, which is fantastic to see. So Brain Builder games is another area of the program that's specifically taught from kindergarten to year 3, but there are also lessons in grade 4, the lessons in grade 4 and 5 begin with an activity that is very similar to a brain builder game. So the overall message with brain builder games is that your brain can get smarter and stronger with practice. So harking back to that idea of having a growth mindset, and it helps to develop those executive function skills. Empathy is the next unit taught. It's extremely important. It's learning to identify and understand feelings in yourself and others. It's learning how to respect similarities and differences, showing care and compassion, and also learning how to join in groups and how to make friends. It's a really important skill to have. So what does the research say about empathy? It provides the foundation for helpful and socially responsible behaviour, and it's the development of skills for coping with peer pressures and challenges. It's also related back to academic success, when important to cultivate within a school environment. Studies show that students with high levels of empathy are skilled at identifying emotions in themselves and others, and considering situations from others' perspectives, and being able to feel or understand what another person is feeling prepares students to manage their own emotions when they need to solve interpersonal problems. The next unit taught in the primary school program is emotion management. Emotion management basically teaches that we feel feelings in our bodies, that there's a physiological response to having strong emotions, and understanding what that looks and feels like. It teaches how to manage frustration and anger, but also importantly, how to calm down. So the How to Calm Down poster that you can see on the screen there is the classroom poster that comes again with this part of the unit. And as you can see, there's 3 steps to calming down. So the first is to stop and use your signal, and students will come up with their own personal signal, whether it's just a hand up to themselves quietly or a self-talk in their head to say, okay, stop, when they feel a strong emotion coming on. So this is to stop that emotion hijack or that amygdala to take over, and to keep the thought process in that frontal cortex of the brain, the reasoning part of your brain. So once you've stopped and named you need to then name your feeling. And this helps with emotional literacy, which is very important to expand our vocabulary around emotion. So there's that common saying, you need to name it to tame it. So this is all about learning how to name your feeling. And then from there, you need to calm down. So whether that is using belly breathing techniques, which again are taught throughout the program, whether that's counting or using positive self-talk, which is another thing that is explicitly taught in the program. So students can then learn to manage their own emotions whenever they feel strong emotions coming on. And again, looking at the research around emotion management, teaching students to recognise strong emotions and use these strategies to calm down has been shown to be effective in increasing their ability to cope, and also decreases the likelihood of aggressive behaviour. And effective emotion management is related to decreased level of aggression again, but also substance abuse and increased levels of social acceptance. So problem solving, finally, as the name suggests, problem solving teaches how to solve problems, how to play fairly and take responsibility, but also learning how to seek help when it's required. So it's learning how to solve problems in the classroom, problems outside of the classrooms, like handling name calling, peer pressure and gossip. And as you can see, it's a process, a 4-tiered process. So students first learn say the problem, but it's important that they learn to say the problem without apportioning blame. Then they work together to think of solutions that are both safe and respectful for everyone involved. They then explore consequences. So what could happen if we chose this particular solution? And then from there, they'll pick their best solution, make a plan and move forward to solve that interpersonal problem. And again, looking at the research around problem solving. So based on effective patterns of thinking, students are first taught those calming down techniques, and then they follow through with the 4 problem solving steps. So they first know that they need to calm down to be in the right frame of mind to effectively work through and solve problems. And also being able to engage effectively in social problem solving helps children choose pro-social solutions to their problems without adult intervention when it's not necessary. And students know how to respond to common problem situations to help create a safe learning environment. There is 5 additional lessons that you can purchase along with the Second Step program, which specifically looks at bullying prevention. It's called the Bullying Prevention Unit. And those 5 lessons are listed here on the screen. The first is how to be safe and respectful, how to recognise bullying, how to report bullying, how to refuse bullying, and how to be a positive bystander. It also includes policies and procedures for administration and school leadership staff. It includes the recognised, respond and report for all staff. So you can create your own policy around bullying and have all of your staff be aware of what that policy is. And also how to teach the lesson and engage families, which is exactly the same as the Second Step program. Alrighty, so looking at how to teach the program successfully. So first of all, it's important to implement the program with fidelity. As I said before, it is an evidence-based program, and that evidence is based on the implementation of the program and teaching it with fidelity, which means to teach all of the lessons. So there's 1 lesson a week for 22 to 25 weeks, depending on the year level. But it's also important to practice those skills daily and to reinforce those skills daily and engaging families. So getting back to looking at and thinking about that castle wheel that families and caregivers circle, how to engage those families. That's all included there in the program for you. So supports to help you do that. And here is just a brief overview of the number of lessons and the length per week, depending on grade level. So for kindergarten, foundation year or prep, whatever you refer to it in your state, has 25 lessons that go for 20 to 25 minutes. And as you can see, those lessons get a little bit longer as the grade levels get older. Year 6 is a little bit different. So there are 15 lessons in total, but they're 50 minutes, 50 minutes in length, and they can be divided into 2 parts. And there's a clear sort of area where it says you finished part 1. So you can have 30 weeks of 25-minute lessons for year 6. And as I mentioned before, there's those 5 additional lessons for the bullying prevention unit as well. So now I want to take some time to show you what's available on secondstep.org. When you purchase the program, you also get access to the Second Step dashboard, which includes all the teaching and implementation tools, plans, surveys, PowerPoints for teachers, for staff and for family nights, letters home to families to explain what Second Step is, access for families as well. It also includes all the videos, the streaming lesson media of the photos, the songs, the videos, as I said, to teach the lesson. So bear with me for a few moments while I switch my screen to show you. Okay. The Second Step dashboard, here we go. So this is what it looks like. I've already logged in to my account. As you can see, I've got my name and my organisation here on the side. Now, the dashboard, depending on how many kits you have, so if you purchase the complete primary set, you will receive activation keys, is what we call them, codes to activate the online learning for grade foundation year or kindergarten through to year 6. And this is where you would add those once you've created an account. So you would add those there to get access to each year level. As you can see, they're split into these areas. So early learning, grades kindergarten to year 5, and then grades 6 to 8 are separate because it is based on the US model of schooling where grades 6, 7 and 8 are middle school. So we'll focus on this area for the purpose of this presentation. Now, as you can see, of course, I have all of the kits added. I've added the kit activation down here. So I have access to all the grade levels. If we just say choose grade 4 and go into grade 4, you'll see all of the available lesson materials to print as PDFs. So this is everything that's included in the hard copy of your second step classroom kit when you purchase the program, but you also have availability here to print, download, email out, whatever you need to do. Now, scrolling down, here is every single lesson for year 4. So year 4 starts with empathy and skills for learning. Now, if you were to open up the streaming lesson media, you will have your scripted lesson in front of you in the year 4 teaching manual. And simply you follow along the scripted lesson where it would say, click on the first screen, which we can do now. That can then obviously get streamed directly on your classroom smartboard, and you literally follow the prompts and read the script. Then there's the story and discussion section, which every lesson has, and then following through activities throughout the week. So this one is the Walk, Walk, Walk music video talking about empathy. Finally, I just wanted to bring your attention to the other tabs that you can see up the top here. So training, this is where you would do your online training before you start the program. It includes 3 modules of self-paced video training, and you can get through those if you do it by yourself in about an hour. If you do choose to do it in cohorts or small groups within your school, I'd put aside 2 hours to allow for talking and brainstorming. Also, very importantly, program supports is an important place to start. So here you can see there is a plethora of information included under all of these different tabs. So how to implement site-wide, there's helpful templates for tasks, roles, and tools for effective implementation, how to engage families, how to keep them informed. These include parent night PowerPoints that are already created for you, letters, as I said, and all of the home links, which are the homework that gets sent home so families can engage in the program with their students. Classroom strategies, so techniques, tools and tips, and also assessments I think is important, formative and summative assessments for students and teachers, just to track that data and keep that alive in your school, and program evaluation. So this is an area that provides guidance and tools for evaluating your implementation. Finally, you'll see just quickly the Principal Toolkit. If you purchase the Principal Toolkit, which is the leadership guide to successfully sustaining and maintaining social and emotional learning within your school, you will have access to this Principal Toolkit link as well, and families. So this is the area that families will see if they create their own account, and they have their own special activation key that's included with each year level kit. So it's highly recommended that you share that and encourage families to create their account, and then they can learn along with their children. They have access to all of the home links and family resources, all of the Brain Builder games and songs, including sheet music. So if you have any talented musicians as parents, they can play along and sing along with the songs as well, which is fantastic. So that's just a very brief overview of the program. Bear with me while I reshare my screen. Summing up now, thank you very much for your time. I hope I haven't gone too far over. These are my details if you want to get in contact with me. Again, my name is Stephanie. I'm email, you can use the info@positivepieces.com.au email, or steph@positivepieces.com.au, and our phone number there as well.